And we are live. Hi, welcome to the Gaming from the First Age. I am First Age. Not really, I'm Graham. And we are going to be playing today some True20. So if you are joining us or you do watch us at some point, you are very welcome. I did say True20, I wasn't kidding. We're going to be playing the Green Ronin's 2006 game, True20. And we're going to have a go at that. Not only that, but we're going to be playing in, something that probably goes back quite some time to the world of Greyhawk. One of the great old worlds, if you like, of fantasy role-playing. So we're mixing and matching here, because not only are we playing in one of the oldest tabletop role-playing games, we are playing on one of the newest virtual tabletops, the Role tabletop, and this explains a little bit why we're a bit late, because any quest that you might we might encounter over the course of this afternoon will be as nothing to the quest that some of us have had to try and get on this virtual tabletop and to work. Browser settings have been played with, privacy settings have been thrown out the window, people have sort of jumped in, jumped out and done the okie dokie, but overall we're all here, which is something. So, without further ado, then I'm going to introduce the heroes of Adventures in Greyhawk, me mates who have persevered and are sticking around for some of Sunday afternoon. So good to have you all on. I'm going to take you from the left to right. In fact, no, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop sharing that. Bosh, we're back. So I'm going to take you from my viewing of your order, which may be completely different to your viewing of your order. I've got no idea. I'm going to go sort of right to left and round a corner. So we'll see what happens. So see if that rings true for you. I bet it doesn't. Paul, do you want to just introduce yourself and the character that you are playing today?
Hi there, I'm Paul. And I'll be playing the half-orc cleric, Elahe of Ogberg. We'll see how we get on with him anyway.
Half-orc Elahe.
Cleric of the god Vultus, who is the god of light, which is obviously what half-orcs would worship.
Obviously, of light. Well, it's let's not assume anything just because you've got some orcish blood in you. Thanks, Paul. Andrew, who are you?
I'm Andrew, and today I will be playing Cassandra. Cassandra is a member of the Greyhawk Guild of Wizardry. She's rather distractible, she's a diviner, and she's very much a city girl with literally no experience of going on adventures at all whatsoever, or of ever being threatened by anyone or anything. So I expect this is going to become quite a shock to her.
It's grim up north. We'll talk about
Indeed.
where you are.
I mean, there's no shoes. There's nowhere to buy decent shoes here at all.
There is a gap in the market which might interest Simon in a minute, so that's good. I'm heading round, at least in my order, is Tom. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tom. I'm playing Tancrin Loibar, who is a gnomish expert. I object to sizes, jokes, and I don't do cobbling.
Cobble free. There's a certain shoe theme which I wonder if we'll be able to perpetuate. Next up for me is Simon. Hello, Simon.
Hello, I'm Simon, and I should be playing Anariel, sometimes Silvertongue, a half-elvish, dispossessed noble come strolling courtier, diplomat, mediator, businessman, and general gentleman adventurer.
Thank you. Hopefully at home in Bastion. And finally, in the order that I have you, last but not least, Jane.
Hi, I'm Jane. You can probably guess from the name. Never met Greyhawk before, know nothing about it, so totally ignorant about everything. And I'm going to be playing Nuana, who's an elven adept. She's specialising in plant-based things, and she's used to spending most of her time in the university making potions. She's actually reasonably competent at making magical items. So her idea is to come out to the wilds explore interesting new places, interesting new plants, interesting new poisons and cures for them. And this is nothing whatsoever to do with any nasty rivals she may have left behind in the university, especially since the latest one has in fact committed suicide by stabbing himself in the back with his own poisoned dagger. He managed to stab himself 5 times, which is really quite impressive, we thought.
Happens a lot.
So I left quite rapidly, and now I'm up here.
You are up here. You are all up here. Somehow you've come together. I'd be interested to find out now, and we're going to find out how, perhaps in a moment. But for those watching at home, I'm going to put up a map, which will appear at some point, and my players will be desperately clicking on various things to make it appear, just to sort of see where we are. So we are actually up north in Greyhawk. For good or ill, you find yourself in the fortress town of Bastion. In Warfields, one of the bandit kingdoms, north, if you like, of civilization. Civilization being the Shieldlands to the south, and possibly the noble and great kingdom of Furiondi. Instead, you find yourself up in what I would say is the southwest of the bandit kingdoms, so right on the tip of it. You are looking out, if you like, northward to another bandit kingdom called Worm Hall, run by, well, it's said actually to be run by the undead themselves, the ghoulish lord there of Worm Hall. Beyond that, you've got the Felreave Forest. It's, if you like, the southwestern tip of the Felreave, one that has been periodically and consistently, I would say, polluted by the nefarious creatures of the Horn Society, which is further off to the northwest. You can just make out the heraldry of the Horn Society up there in the northwest. And apart from that, you have another of the bandit kingdoms, the bandit kingdom of Abara, run by Lord Kor. Your bandit kingdom, if you like, or the bandit kingdom you find yourself in, is Warfields. It's a crossing road, I would say, between different powers, toing and froing, and it is run by General Hawk, himself of a little bit of Orcish blood, perhaps, in that fella, and he runs from Bastion itself. So you are, if you like, in the fortress capital, if you like, of Warfields. The map before you, well, it shows some of the sites, some of the rumours and the sites that you have found out about over time. Something about the ruined city of Tarlanian, city of the elves, sort of deeper into the Felreave. That the ancient and Shadowfell, the sort of glowering moor of Shadowfell. Old Nightingale, another place that you've heard tell of, a ruined village right on the edge of the Felreave, said to hold secrets and the past. 3 Stone Hills, a noted monument out into the wilds, and the Red Blade Temple itself. Rumour that it holds treasures of ancient past. And indeed others. Rumours to be found on our wiki, which I'll put a link in later. So you've got loads of rumours, but specifically, I think we've got Bastion, which I will show you now. So if we zoom in on Bastion itself, I will bring that in. It's a big image, so it zeroes in on the fighting pit. This is, if you like, I'm going to say it's your hometown. It's the place you find yourself now, in northern Warfields. It's built on the, if you like, it's built on a very, very old, if you like, city plan. It's the city is this fortified town has been here for a very, very long time, and it's certainly it probably even predates the Bandit Kingdoms. It has its history in some of the early migrations of the westward folk that came across into the Flanness, this part of Greyhawk. Hock Castle you can see up on the hill. What was once perhaps an ornamented sort of canal or river that runs through it is now, well, I'm not going to say it's just a sewer, but it's perhaps not particularly well maintained. And the city at the centre has the fighting pit, a place for arena fighting. Many from the Bandit Kingdoms cross here to experience that. That's where you are. And very specifically, if we want to zoom in, you are in the... Well, in fact, let's have a little image. So what does it look like? Well, at night, Bastion looks a little bit like this. So I don't think that necessarily the floor plan does it justice, but you can see in the distance Hock Castle glowering over the sort of cobbled streets of Bastion. It's certainly a place to be. And very specifically, we mentioned the Fallen Star Tavern, which I've cobbled together very quickly. So here we go. Fallen Star Tavern. And yeah, just to give you an idea of what it is, in the middle is this huge meteorite, which is sort of splattered right in the middle, I'm told, of the tavern, and it's just been left there, and they've built the tavern around it. It's a glistening stone of that's fallen from the sky. Some say it has some sort of magical properties, but I'm happy for you to explore that. And you find yourself here together in the Fallen Star Tavern, in Bastion, north of Warfields, speaking of your adventures to come. So, drinks all round, I suspect.
Indeed. I'll have 2/3 of the IPA. Who's snickering? Who is snickering?
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome, sir. Let me just call up our wiki to have a look and see the.
Look, I may be small, but my gender is quite obvious. I don't know.
Yeah.
Misogynist, sizist. They'll be asking me to mend their slippers next.
Tali Bran is your barman and owner of the Fallen Star. Very happy to give you your drinks and welcome you to the Fallen Star. Relatively new here. You're very welcome. If there's anything I can do to serve, please let me know. Rooms are available should you wish. And indeed, good food.
Yes, I will need a room for myself, thank you.
Of course, my lady.
I couldn't possibly share.
No, of course not. I can facilitate a room for you. We have a particularly sizable and well-appointed one with its own iron tub bath. We can bring you hot water.
Oh, that's all right. I can heat the water myself, but have it filled quickly.
Of course.
I feel I'm tired on the journey.
Bows, and you can see him conversing with one of the servants who are scuttles out of the main bar. The building behind, or to the right, as we can see it, behind the bar, if you like, are actually the place where the rooms are. So it's almost like it's actually a separate building, sort of attached to the main bar. So yeah, someone's going off immediately to sort out your room. Yeah. Tancred, yes, go on.
Show me a wine list, prepare me a room, and tell me if you can recommend a good bootmaker in town. My riding boots could do with some repair.
Of course, sir. You have you travelled far, and where have you travelled from?
From the south primarily. I've just resolved a small border dispute between two minor fiefdoms of no significant importance, but it's always good to keep the peace.
Of course. I suppose in some ways it's a silly question. People don't tend to travel from the north, or if they do, they are especially and particularly grateful to be here. In terms of a shoemaker, we probably haven't got a great deal that's here that maybe creates footwear of maybe the quality that you might have latterly expected. But I would recommend Damsk to you, Damsk's shoes. Across the way, I can point it out to you. He does solid shoes and indeed repairs. They will never be the same again. I can tell you that.
No.
Damsk.
Although I'll warrant he's in for some competition before too much longer.
Really?
Well, just glancing down the bar.
All I heard was small, insignificant and of no consequence. So just the usual sort of xenophobia I'd expect. I get out the treasure map I recently found and roll it out on the bar in front of me. I fancy being the patron.
A treasure map?
Indeed, a treasure map.
That looks interesting.
That's a Doorfield, isn't it? I haven't
A
seen one of those.
A Doorfield treasure map.
Yes, Carl Doorfield. The well-known forger.
Find the map.
Swindler. Oh, I know his work anywhere. The man's a master.
Are you suggesting that this is a forgery?
Well, fabrication probably more than forgery. I doubt there was ever an original that pointed to any genuine treasure. I do hope he didn't take you for too much. He does get greedy occasionally. But he sells them so well, doesn't he?
I was able to engage in a small service for him that was not in any way cobbling based, and he shared with me a view of his extensive collection of treasure maps, and I scribed this myself upon a parchment I already had.
I see.
And I'll just
is there any caverns marked on there? Any particular?
Well, the story that goes with this one is about the legend of the 9th Hobgoblin Legion, who it is rumored. Well, I have it on good authority, and I have checked it with some erudite persons around the town. When heading off to fight for war, buried their regimental treasure in some sinkholes to the northeast of here, past the Worms Wood, up past Snig Hill, and in this sinkhole here, I say, pointing at it.
Yes,
indeed. I'm going to call
regimental standard, I imagine, as well.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. You're so tall that the sound waves take some time to get down here.
I said, I imagine the regimental standard, was that part of the story? It usually is.
Indeed, yes, regimental standards, and apparently they left nothing but a small complement of goblins to guard it.
Who were never heard of again?
The 9th Legion, well, the 9th Legion were, of course, wiped out, as I'm sure you know.
Otherwise, someone would have gone back for the treasure. Yes, it's a good story. One of my favourites.
Well, I'm looking for a group of handy individuals who are willing to come with me up to explore the sinkholes and see the truth behind it.
Really? You think they're actually there?
I do. Yes.
Well, if they're not there, then one has to ask, why is this story so well known, and what is it actually intended to hide?
Well, it's so well known because it's a cracking way of convincing people that you've sold them an original treasure map.
Well, yes, but beyond that...
Well, does one need a reason beyond that?
Hide.
I mean, obviously, a gentleman doesn't actually indulge in these things himself, but I possibly have witnessed people use these sort of stories to pass off treasure maps, some of which weren't even still wet. But yes, I mean, if you think you've actually found a real one, well, that would be entertaining and that would have novelty value and nothing else.
Well,
out whether or not it's actually it leads you to a certain area for some reason other than please buy my treasure map. Like this area welcomes careful ambushes. Please come here and deposit all your wealth.
Well, possibly, but I don't really have much wealth to deposit, to be honest.
No, it's just a thought.
That's not true. Looking at my character sheet, I have a very nicely turned out pair of boots.
Excellent.
Ohio,
Made yourself, presumably.
I should pretend I didn't hear that.
It's all about the boots, basically.
Yeah.
I think we should. My intention is tomorrow morning to gather provisions and a couple of mules and head northeast. I've been inundated with offers from people wanting to share in this treasure. I say, unconvincingly.
Oh, well, if you've already assembled a crew, one wouldn't wish to impose.
Okay. Player-led game.
It is. It's going to be a twin-hander, a shoe quest. I'm going to, and I'm going to now be able to share. Thanks, Tom. Let's just stop sharing this. I'm going to share the map. This may not help people decide that they want to do this, but I'm going to try and share this if I can. Oh, I can make it public, or view it in a new window. I'm going to make it public then. So in your assets, I'm going to say is a dubious. No, I'm sorry. A well constructed map, possibly that Tankrin has been talking about. So you can have a view of that map at your leisure.
As you can see, I've written down here that there may be loggers in the southern extents of the forest. In truth, beyond that, I know very little. I've never been this way.
Worms, loggers, wicked elves. One finds this hard to credit.
That's pretty wicked elves around.
It's well known there are wicked elves up north. Sounds to me like there's wicked elves to the south as well.
Well, I won't go as far as wicked, old man. Young lady? Sorry, I can't really tell from up here. You're female, aren't you? Sorry, I'm related to real life.
I am female. I have shared the screenshot as a PNG file, Graham, if that makes it easier for next time.
Oh, thank you.
In Discord.
Yeah, that probably does help. Thank you. Oh yeah, lovely. Excellent.
So you go past something called Snig Hill, I think.
Yes.
And some roads and some lockers through a forest, sink hills and caverns.
Caverns, you see? I've heard rumours of caverns. I've been sent on a quest to find something called the Cavern of Light.
Ooh.
Maybe that's it.
So,
where are we now in relation to this map, by the way?
We're in Bastion.
Oh, right. Sorry. Cheers.
I'm going to put this up. Yes, thank you for saving it as a PNG. It seems to be happy with that now. There we go.
Not on the screen currently. There she blows.
There she goes. Took me a while. There we go. So what do we have? We have Bastion, which is where you are now. There's the Retensa River, which runs effectively north to south on this map. And, well, it's called the Blighted Forest here. It is the Felreeve Forest, as it's known. It's an ancient forest. Blighted, perhaps, because this part of the forest, the far southwestern part, butts up against the Hierarchs' lands, run by the Hierarchs, the Horn Society, a sizable goblinoid presence there, and foul creatures from the dark depths. The forest has suffered as a consequence from this. To the north of you immediately, it's rumoured that the Hobgoblin Legion, well, there's talks. I mean, the eponymous, perhaps self-styled Hobgoblin Legion, perhaps. But it's certainly known that there is an orcish warlord who operates to the north of Bastion, known as Gazbaz.
Oh, I've heard of him. He's dreadful.
Absolutely. Gazbaz operates to the north, regards the territories between Bastion and the forest as his, effectively. I think people would dispute that, but nevertheless. Meanwhile, I've lost Andrew for a moment. I was going to say Cassandra's waters, as it were, have been prepared, and she is available to take her bath when at her leisure. Let me just take this off.
Which reminds me, I've also managed to sort out a room, stabling for the mule, that kind of stuff.
Oh, stabling for the mule, yes, absolutely.
We went on to other things before we could do that bit of conversation, but a room, preferably lockable.
Yes, they all come with latch locks, so effectively a levered lock that can be applied on the inside. So whilst you are in the room, you can lock it up. When you're out, not so much.
Right. Okay. Do you have safekeeping valuables or anything?
Valuables can be stored.
I was just thinking scrolls and things that I don't really want to take out in the rain, but would like to have available to see.
Tali's yes. Tali will approach and say, "Yeah, absolutely. If there's anything that you want that's of value to you, I won't question. I've got a secure box. If you just complete the ledger to say that you've kept that with me, then we have an accord. Yes, we can keep things safe for you, or as safe as anything is in Bastion, if you like. But it's safe enough here."
So I say, are you all thinking of moving to Bastion? It's a pleasant place to live. I've lived here much of my life.
I don't know. I was thinking of staying a few weeks at any rate, seeing what's in the area, what's around here.
Well, if you're interested, I shall be here in the morning with my 2 mules, ready to head out onto the road up to become very, very wealthy. You look a handy bunch, and you'd all be very welcome.
Excellent.
Yeah, why not?
It'd be mildly distracting.
So we have rooms with they're clean, reasonably well prepared.
Can I have one that faces the sun in the morning, please?
Sure, the sun. Okay. Yeah, I think we can manage that. There's the one at the end.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, it's got an extra large window for a view over the festering ruins. I mean the
Yes.
the delightful Bastion, and then probably on and out. Let's see, off to the east. So yeah, sun over the Bandit Kingdoms. That's beautiful. Food is reasonable fare, and any questions about your characters before we get going for tomorrow? Is there anything that you need to know, or are you reasonably comfortable? Should we find out in play, as it were?
Might as well find out in play. I have the thing up online for you to look at for a while, so
sure, no, that's absolutely fine.
All things before, then there won't be any now.
No problem. Let me just stop sharing that for a moment.
I guess, has anybody got any rope? if there's sinkholes.
It's the classic
I
question.
don't specifically list it. Yeah, what sort of level do you want us to get our equipment list down to?
Yeah, I mean, are we doing proper old school? We actually go out and buy rope and pitons and bits of string.
Yes, I need to know exactly what's in your pack. If you wish, I'm happy for you to have an adventurer's pack. And should you wish to declare an item as being in your pack, we can perhaps do some flat rolls if necessary, just to make doubly sure, or if it's obviously sensible, then it's kind of fine. I'll assume that you have it. The way that wealth works, we don't actually keep an immediate tally of individual silver pieces, which is the main coin. Mostly it's coin from the south that finds its way either through raiding or through other nefarious means up into the bandit kingdoms. But you'll have a wealth rating, and this effectively gives you a bonus to acquisition rolls against a difficulty equal to the value of the goods. So typically, if it's of not great cost, then we can just say that you just simply get the thing. I'm going to include rooms here as being that thing, so I'm not going to require a wealth check from you for these. If you stay over, let's say, a week, I might have a little bit of a wealth check just to see whether that takes a slight hit on you, but you've basically got rooms here. A fine set of shoes from Dampsk's Shoes would require a roll, but I suspect you're going to make it.
Well, I may be able to come to some deal or other with the owners of the tavern, in that I do make potions. I specialise in things that are cures for poisons, and alcohol counts as poison. So if you wanted me to sit here mass producing cures for hangovers, you can get hold of the ingredients. It could be arranged.
Well, I feel that we could branch out, says Tarly. There could be we could get a side business going, and I'm very happy to discuss that with you at some point. It could be quite profitable. Welcome back, Andrew.
Hello.
Hello. I'm just going to say your waters are ready, as it were, and people are reclining to their rooms. Sorry? Tom is also back. Hurrah. And so the morn. I'm going to say so the morn.
Can I have a quick... I will do one thing. Obviously, given my background, I do have money and I have sort of heirlooms and things. Strictly speaking, I'm just off for masterworking my sword. Can I have a quick roll against my wealth to see if I can achieve it? Basically, as I understand the system, I need to roll... My die roll plus my wealth stat need to exceed the cost of the thing. Is that right?
That's correct. If it doesn't, it just simply means that you may still have the thing, but it may involve a reduction to your wealth.
That's fair enough. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So
what is the difficulty that you have?
So as I understand, now depending on which version, I'm looking at the SID here. So I've got my classic longsword, which is a base of 11. So it becomes 14 if I masterwork it. My wealth is 12, as I recall. So basically, as long as I don't roll is it equal to, or are you over that? So if I fail,
it's equal to or greater than the difficulty.
So basically, as long as I don't roll a 1, I'm cool. He said, tempting fate. Let's see that. Let's set the tone for this thing.
Come on. 9. Well in.
A palpable 9.
So
right.
You have a masterwork longsword, which I believe gives you a +1 on with it.
It does. I have masterwork armor as well, but I could afford that off the bat. So.
That lightens it as well in terms of the.
I'll work out.
Okay.
Right. We may want to have a little discussion later on about just how those could be improved. What I did was buy myself a masterwork dagger, which is a cost of 9, same as my wealth. So in terms of numbers, I don't think we need to do anything.
Yep.
And then I did a quick imbue item, and now I've got a supernatural dagger.
Yeah.
Since I've got that power, I think it's fair to assume I've used it in the past.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Is that okay?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely right. So yes, you've got other capabilities which you'll be learning across each other. But it is the morning, so you. I don't know exactly how. It's obvious that your sword is a masterwork sword, but
It's beautiful, it's shiny, and it's got jewels on the scabbard.
Possibly.
Would you guess?
yeah, maybe. Nice. Okay, I'm going to put the map back up, just to sort of remind us of the map.
Well, if everyone's happy, I shall join you all just after dawn. With a couple of mules, one of which with a saddle, the other one which with some saddlebags on.
Sorry, what is this time you're suggesting we should get up? I'm not sure I understand.
Just after dawn, in fact, I believe, don't I see the shutters to the window at the back of the tavern facing the sun open, perhaps, already? As
Yes.
someone is greeting the sun?
Yep. I'll be doing a quick.
I mean, I assume we're not going to set off until about 11 to give me sufficient time to have a bath, wash and brush my hair, have a delicate breakfast of honey and little delicate cakes and things. Yes, that's how things work.
No, we'll be leaving after a hearty breakfast of 2 slices of dried bread and a yard of ale, and then on our way up to Snig Hill. We should be at Snig.
11. Yes.
We should be up to Snig Hill by I don't know what we're going to say, Graham. What do you think? How far to Snig Hill?
Well, let's pull up the if you like the site map to have a quick look at that. So, if I pop down yourselves on here for a moment, here we are. So you're currently in Bastion over here. Now the scale on this map is about 30 miles to the hex. So you're looking at a route which will take you to here. So you're looking at, I'm going to say, maybe about 40 miles in total to get to the sinkholes overall. So you would probably estimate it's a day and a half of travel to get you there. Also crossing the Ritenza River as you go further up from Bastion, if you're taking the old path or the old road.
My view would be we cross the river at Bastion, head up to Snig Hill, about here where the blue mark is, and then head out the next day across. I believe there's a bridge, isn't there, still on Ritenza River? Although I'm not sure if it's still in good condition.
There is at Bastion. There is at Bastion. There is indeed. There is an old stone bridge as part of the great crossways across these lands. Further north, you're not quite so sure.
Yeah. So if we set off now, fine, madam, we should be at Snig Hill by dusk. I have dried meat and sausages that we can eat on the way.
I'm going to say that
And Cassandra will arrive in the morning in the world's least practical clothing for travelling. It's basically the sort of thing that romantic novels describe lady adventurers wearing in their adventures.
Well, I think probably to sort of fit the scene, Tarly will have arranged a small wicker hamper for you with the aforementioned honeyed oat cakes readied and a small flask of something warming as well, because it's where are we? It's star day of cold even, so it's early spring, and there is a crisp feel to the air from Bastion as you head towards the bridge. But yes, you've got kind of a hamper. We'll at least one, if not 2 mules, I believe, as well.
We have 2 mules.
I've got a mule with me, so yeah, that makes 3.
Excellent.
One with a saddle on that Tancrin is riding in, and one which is the pack mule, which will be eaten by a tentacled monster at some point in the next week or so.
I hope not.
I think you mean
carry my
so we'll be laden down over with treasure. I think don't you mean?
That's exactly what I meant. Of course it was. I don't know why I said the other. So yes, we should head off on the road. Should be quite straightforward, I'm sure.
Excellent. Okay, well, you head off. You leave Bastion behind. You head across to what was called the Old Stone Bridge. So you're heading effectively, well, sort of vaguely north. Actually, it's a vaguely north direction. Perhaps I'm going to say it's a northeasterly direction. To Old Stone Bridge. You arrive at Old Stone Bridge. It is an impressive stone bridge that spans the river. At the far end of the bridge, you can see effectively it's like a small wooden tower that's been constructed. It's on 4 sturdy legs, and a couple of figures can be seen at the top of this tower on a platform. Overlooking the wilds beyond the river. With some surprise, they note that there are people actually crossing the bridge and heading north. And there's some clattering of feet as down the ladder, a couple of spearmen come down the ladder and greet you as you cross the span of the bridge. Good day. A couple of youngish-looking men with spear and metal helm and slightly dishevelled jerkins. Good day. Travelling north then?
Travelling north. We're up to Snig Hill.
Oh, good luck.
You seem concerned about taking this path. Is there danger on the road, young man?
There is considerable danger further north. If it's not Gazbaz and his orcish warriors, then there's
I shudder.
Well, and what they could do, I don't like to think. Plus, there's the Fell Reeve itself. I mean, if you're heading that far north, within the shadow of the forest, there's. I don't want to put you off, madam. I just hope you're all right. And of course, there's the goblins. The goblins themselves, the old hobgoblin forces that passed through here. Well, some time ago now. It's just you might be all right. I'm sure you will be. But we're just saying. Take care.
The good hearty folk of Bastion are the salt of the earth.
Indeed. Besides, it's as well to be out of Bastion before the lurker emerges.
Yes, the lurker.
Yes.
It's a good job that I've got an excellent treasure map, because I have a plan. I have an oven-ready plan. This adventure, this treasure map will be the easiest piece of treasure gathering there has ever been. Why? When they hear we're coming, the goblins will just want to hand over the treasure in order to protect their lucrative automotive industry. I'm sure I've heard that somewhere before.
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
With minor variations.
Okay. Well, you head.
Well, I shall say a quick prayer for the soldiers to.
Well, yeah. I mean, they sort of bow, look slightly nervously, probably slightly nervously at you, Paul. At the same time,
Yes.
Could I have your name, good priest?
Elahay of Hogberg.
Was that Tenahay, sir?
Elahay.
Elahay. Sir, thank you for your blessing. And may the gods go with you, good sir.
But it's only Falters is going to go with me. There's no other gods.
That's fine. And so it is. You travel north.
He says no other gods. I'm just going to sort of make sure there's a good thunderbolt radius distance between us.
Yeah, you sort of look up.
Argue about that. We might have a stone bridge there somewhere.
Oh, there are so many, as we've discovered on our journey here. Oh, that's nice. But yeah, lovely. The bridge looks a bit like that. Yeah, so you travel north. You travel north on a ill-kept road, broad though it may be. Once a great road, you suspect, but now ill-kept, and heading really towards the Fell Reeve, effectively, which is interesting in and of itself, really, that you're heading in that direction. I'll put up Tancrin's map. Up to Snig Hill, and I'm going to say towards the middle of the afternoon, or early afternoon maybe actually. Snig Hill itself comes into view, pretty much. It sort of rises up from the heaths around it as a sort of almost like it's like a huge moraine almost. It's like this massive sort of hill that rises up by the side of the road. And the road dutifully sort of moves around it rather than over it as you head there.
Well, this is where we'll be camping for the night. Now, ignore the entrances to the barrows.
Oh yeah, the barrows. Yeah, sorry, the barrows. Yeah.
So just ignore them. It's very unwise to go anywhere near them.
Why would you camp anywhere near them?
Oh, everybody camps near Snig Hill. The views are quite remarkable. Although, of course, this time of year, the mists that roll in through the night, reducing visibility to just a few meters, can be a little depressing, admittedly. Sausage, anyone?
But nobody worries about the barrow, even though everyone knows not to sleep next to it.
No, of course not. What could possibly go wrong?
Gosh.
But one thing that's gone wrong
It really does add a whole new meaning to the phrase "gnomic uttering," doesn't it?
No, Chroma Cameron's
Cassandra will get out her tent and just peer at it in confusion about how she's supposed to construct it.
And we will peer at Cassandra in confusion to see how she intends to construct it.
Badly. And with a lot of swearing.
Well, I think perhaps if you'd like to place your tokens on towards the summit of the hill, which is represented by this map, then we'll just see how you fare. There's no good
shrinking this down, is there? The choices are minimise or full size, aren't they? Is that right?
Pretty much. I would strongly advise you clicking there. Oh, there you go. Nice. You're on.
If you use the minus and plus signs, you can get a certain amount of sort of intermediate steps, but not many.
Yeah, it does take you in and out. What would be nice is if the mouse scroller or something like that did a sort of a fine-tuned sort of zoom in, zoom out or something like that. Just need to roll a d6 because it's Greyhawk. There you go. You should see a result there. It's a d6 result.
2.
Yeah.
2.
Okay, I'm just going to go and switch to my PC because doing this on my laptop screen is awful.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I do feel that it's appropriate that one of us, that between us, we mount a watch through the night, given that the mists will be rolling in, and we wouldn't want anyone accidentally running over us in the night, due to a confusion of any kind whatsoever.
Well, this is true. I think a quick look around the area, just in case there are any hazards we're unaware of, probably wouldn't hurt.
Well,
in mechanical terms, would the survival skill be at all relevant here?
It would. Now, survival tends to be used. I mean, there are some feats that characters can have, particularly around tracking. But in general, even if you've got the tracking feat, it still falls back to survival as the skill that it requires. So I'd be happy for you to do, if you're doing some sort of reconnaissance of the area.
Yeah, I was actually going to sit fairly still and do the reconnaissance. There's a power called nature reading.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh, steady on now.
So that's plus survival and fairly good notice and search. Put them all together. I'm not quite sure which I should be using. Have you had a look at my character sheet?
I have in the past, but I'm very interested in this power that you have.
Right, I think I did actually copy the details into the character sheet.
Very
Anything I
probably.
thought looked complicated and I'd have to look up the rules for,
No,
I've
it's
stuck
fine.
to the character
Yeah.
sheet just in case.
That sounds great. What was it called? Nature
Nature reading.
reading. Let's have a little look at nature reading.
Oh, let's all
It's
have a
on
look at our
page-
copy of the rule book.
Page 68.
Nice. Nature reading then.
Well, I'm an elf with an interest in plants beyond normal for elves, so it seemed a fairly obvious thing to grab.
Sense the flows and signs of the natural world. Ooh, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, once per day. So it's a bit of meditation. Difficulty 10. So what I'm suggesting mechanically is actually this is going to be using your. It's a magical power. It's not fatiguing, so you can kind of switch this on when you feel like it. If you like, it flows naturally to you.
So once per day.
It's once per day. So I think this is the time to do it. So it's a D20 roll, and it's adding your power modifier, which is your magical. Effectively, it's your magical ability, not the skill, because you are tapping into your understanding of the world through your magical power. And I'm going to have a look at the characters. Okay. Yeah. That's Nuana, isn't it? Yeah. So, do you have your magical power bonus to add to that?
That would appear to be a plus 11,
You are
which I
pretty
think
good.
you put in there for me.
Yeah. I think it's a very straightforward roll for you, actually. I can see you here.
Okay, so I can learn only 3 facts, and I need to pick those out, don't I?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I suppose powerful unnatural creatures sounds like a good idea, given that we're right next to a barrow, that
Sounds
we're
good
not
to
to
me.
worry about, honest. What else would we like to know, do you think?
I suspect.
I'm definitely going for plants, because this is me.
Yes, of course. So you might want to look for herbs and things. Body of people, general animal population, presence of animals, presence of powerful unnatural creatures.
That's definitely one to go for.
Yeah.
At plants, I think we already know about bodies of water, don't we? There aren't any. Bring your own.
There
Can I
are some-
suggest other people who might be around who aren't powerful and supernatural, but we still might like to know if they're lurking?
Yeah.
Yep. And this covers a 1 mile radius.
Well, I think
Oh my God.
We get a wider radius depending on how you roll.
That's
yeah,
pretty
depends
good.
on how you roll.
Yeah.
I didn't quite follow that, but up to the GM how this works. I mean,
Okay.
I
Well,
don't know.
essentially, I'd like a
in what
D20
way
roll.
I've just want to affect your scenario.
That's fine. No, it's all good.
Let me. Oh, we'll use the actual D20 rolling thing and see what happens.
Do you know what? That's great.
Is it a scenario?
Well, I can see that I just rolled a 7.
So can I. I'm gonna just share that map again. Actually.
The map's there, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's just show it
Get
back.
rid of that roll, because as soon as
All
I've
right.
got the roll up, it hides the entire map from me.
Oh, okay. Yes, it does. It does. You have to sort of. It doesn't move around either. You can't click and move it. It just
No.
stays there. Okay. So what you divine, or what the magical energies tell you, is that there are indeed restless spirits here, and indeed restless dead that still and on occasion stir across this landscape from time to time.
Lovely.
So you certainly get that. Other than that, you get the sense that this is a quiet and very, very... It's almost like a juxtaposition. You've got that going on, which is extremely unnerving. But in fact, it's masked almost by the normality of the land around you. You get definite feelings of natural wildlife around here, and a sense that in the wilds of Snig Hill, nature, if you like, continues to assert its sovereignty, I shall say.
Okay. Nothing in the way of dangerous animals or people? And are there any interesting plants from the point of view of somebody looking for ingredients for anything?
There will be wild herbs out here, which doubtless you will be able to explore, probably in the morn.
Okay.
And some very interesting, and some quite interesting trees as well. Some interesting tree types, which you may want to explore as well. Yes, so other than that, a mixed sense of unquiet and peace.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
Did you want a survival roll as well on how to make the most of all this? I believe survival lets me feed half the party or something.
Yeah, I mean, certainly that's going to assume that you're going to be going out and finding either game or other means to feed the people around you. You have got supplies and provisions with you, so you're probably not yet in a position where you need to do that. If
Yeah, I was just thinking of things like 20 yards away there is a large bush full of blackberries.
That
That
could
kind
be.
of...
Is there? In spring? That's remarkable.
Oh, is it?
It is. It's early spring, actually. Yeah.
Right, in that case, no, there probably isn't.
Yeah.
Probably.
There might be some asparagus.
Yeah. What's that in spring? Early spring.
Okay.
I hear the blackberry harvest is likely to be poor this year.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah, I'd heard that. Yeah. However, the bilberry harvest last year was particularly good in the south.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are they all called? Tarly has got quite a good bilberry wine on the go at the moment. As a consequence.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have I brought some?
Sorry. Yes, you have.
Yeah. So bilberry wine, sausages, beef jerky. Are there some of those little lemon cakes that Cassandra brought?
I've just deleted a token. Sorry.
Or have they all got squished? Andrew?
No, they're fine. They're good.
Okay. Should we light a fire?
Everything's been really expertly packed, which is nice.
So we'll light a fire?
Light a fire?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
I'm quite happy to take first watch.
Excellent.
Okay.
In which case, probably I would suggest 3 watches are required.
I'll take the middle watch.
Those of us who have better night vision should probably go for the darker hours of the night, I'd suggest.
Yes, that makes sense.
It does, doesn't it?
I've got night vision, so I'm happy to take a night watch.
Okay.
I think we all got night vision, haven't we?
Probably.
Super. Okay. Tancrin, could you roll me a d6, please?
Cassandra may not have. Isn't Cassandra human, or is she half-elf?
She's human.
Human.
That you know of, and she's also probably now sort of desperately trying to get some sleep.
And she's human.
4. Thank you, Tom. Excellent. In which case, I'm going to switch to you have a uneventful. It's quite a clear sky tonight, so the stars are out. I think Greyhawk's 2 moons are sharp and visible in a cloudless sky. Selene and the Great Moon. In which case, I'm going to go to Anerial, just to also roll me a d6, please, for your watch.
D6.
Yeah.
There it is.
It's more
Well,
fun.
you know what she's
And
doing.
all about D20s, right?
5. Now I have a 5 when you're ready.
Okay. Excellent. That's 5.
Oh, sorry, I've got it's turned the private tab on mine now.
That's all right. I was
You
going to
see
say
it now?
I couldn't see it. At least it works. That works.
Right. Sorry. Yes. There you go. There's a 5.
Thank you. Excellent. And the final watch, which I think was that going to be Nuana, or was that?
I'd say I'd take
Well, I haven't been
Oh,
on
did you?
watch yet, so I expect so.
Elahay looks to be offering maybe to see in the rising of the sun.
yes.
Okay, Elahay, could you roll me a d6 as well?
See if that works.
Hello, can you hear me now?
We can.
Yes.
Hi, Andrew.
Finally. Sorry, I don't have a camera on my PC, so
No, it's all right.
just got my
We can
voice.
hear you, which is great. Super. 4.
So I've got
is that?
4.
That's
Yep.
what we wanted. Right. Okay. Could you make me a notice check, please, Elahay?
So I'm +1 on notice. So
Yeah.
15 +1.
Okay, so 16. That's pretty good. You notice, literally shambling around the corner, a series of forms. Baleful red glows in their eyes as they head towards you. They are sort of just literally jerking towards you. I'm going to suggest that you're basically taking watch about here, and the others are, if you like, around you. And you can see literally in the gloom heading towards you these shambling forms, and as they get closer, you appreciate and realise that they are undead. They are the restless forms of skeletal and maybe even skeletal warriors, as there is glittering things in their hands, their bony hands. I'm going to ask you to make an initiative check, please, Elahay, and I'm going to do the same for these undead as they head towards you. Really? Plus that much? Good God.
God.
Hello! Hello,
Oh, dear.
Roll20. I'm off. I'm off
Oh,
and away.
dear.
The rest of us still asleep, I take it.
That's pretty good. I'm going to say that's good. So I'm on that. What about yourself, Elahay? What did you get?
I got an 8.
8.
That's what it said. Yes.
Excellent. Right. So before you can do anything, flat-footed as you are, these forms suddenly accelerate in a sort of Ray Harryhausen sort of disaster, and 5, 10, and start running up the hill. I'm going to say it's 3, 4, 5 to here, and this one's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 to here, and before you know it, they are effectively upon you.
Great.
Are the rest of us still asleep?
Well, I think you're about to be rudely awakened rather than awaken in a better way by the sound of travails and combat. What is your defence, please, Elahay?
Right. Where the hell's that? Sorry.
It's all right. Topish right.
Yes. So that would be parry. Would it +2?
No,
Quite
no, it's
possibly.
your defense, your total defense score.
Total defense.
So it's normally like 10 plus your dex mod plus your parry or dodge value. So you might not be able to use. You can't use dodge while you're flat-footed, but I think you can use parry. So what's your dexterity modifier?
My dexterity modifier is 0, so
that would make your defense, and your parry is
+2.
okay. So that would make your defense 12, I think.
Okay.
I think that's right.
Yeah, it's you're is it a 3rd level adept?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What's your combat bonus as well? You add that to it. So that's an extra 1.
Yeah. So I think you're looking at 13.
13. Okay, 13.
I'm going to 13 dodge. So the first skeletal warrior, with its rusted blade, swings at you and connects. So it is, Elahei, that you must resist the damage that is coming towards you, and you must make a toughness check against the damage. And the damage is the difficulty that you're looking at is 18.
18. So toughness is +3, and that's for my armor and my constitution.
Okay, so you rolled your 20 and add 3.
Ooh, 19. Blimey.
Fantastic. The blow scrapes across your armor and has absolutely no effect. The second skeleton, however, with a red glint in its eye, attacks and misses. So the rest of you can hear a clatter and a smash. It might just about wake you up, unless Elahei, you want to do anything.
Well, obviously, I think I'm going to shout. Is that kind of a wake? And then I'm going to try and use Purifying Light to cast a Shining Ward.
Okay.
Oh, Shining Ward, did you say?
Yes.
Oh, I shall immediately look it up in my PDF. Shining Ward.
It's in the Adept book, not the.
Oh, it's Splat book already.
Yeah.
Splat book cheese.
Yes. Page 46, 47.
What? Sorry, 47. Did you say?
Yeah, 46, 47. It's on the.
Oh, that's cool. That is very cool. It's in the main revised. It's in the main book as well, actually. Page 219.
Purifying Light is this?
Yeah. Purifying Light, Shining Ward. Love it.
Okay.
I'm not finding that.
Make me. I'm guessing.
So my professional skill is +9. It's for casting skill.
Yeah.
So you don't need to cast anything. So this one's a save spell. So they need to make a will save in order to enter the area, and then a saving trying to remain there. But you will need to make a will save to avoid becoming fatigued.
You will indeed.
Okay. So will save is +5. Amazing.
Make me a roll to see if you are worn down by calling upon your god.
So that's 6 + 5
is 11. You fail the fatigue check. The fatigue check is typically 10 plus half your adept level round up. So for you, that's going to be, I think a 12.
Right. Okay. Yes. So
I think I got that right.
Yes.
So but he only has to make a fatigue roll after he's stopped maintaining it.
Is it? Ooh.
Oh, right.
Now on page 219, it says both uses of Purifying Light are fatiguing. You make the fatigue save after each light blast and after you stop maintaining a Shining Ward. So you can put a ward up and just keep it running, and you only check for fatigue at the end of it.
Cool.
Nice. You've got to maintain it. The first creature So presumably, this needs to save against your spell difficulty.
Yes.
And so, Ella, if you could tell me what your magic sort of difficulty, spell difficulty check is, that sets the level.
Should be 12 plus whatever your stat is that you use for spellcasting.
Yeah.
So
Probably
my
wisdom.
his stat is wisdom, which is +3, so that's
15.
15.
Okay. So the first skeleton, blinded though it may be, holds firm from your blinding light, which even now suffuses the whole area. The second does not, and immediately is starting to think about where it can go. It's pulling back gradually. I shall note it by doing that. And it's just starting to, and indeed the third one, because it's actually a 60 feet radius.
Is it? Wow.
Yeah, it's massive. It's
60 feet diameter and 60 feet across.
so 60 feet across, so
Still
circumference. Okay.
Yeah.
Is
Nevertheless,
this where we start drawing things on the map so we can see which area has been very brightly lit up?
if someone wants to draw that, I'm more than happy.
I mean, it's a 30-foot radius, so it's pretty much the whole map, I think.
It's pretty much the whole map, yeah, right now. It's enough for me to note that there are 2 that are pulling back and 1 is staying where it is. Fantastic. The rest of you, if you could make me initiative checks, please, and tell me your numbers, I shall add you to the roster.
How does one go about doing that?
It's a D20. Sorry.
It'll be just plus your dex.
It's just
mod,
plus your
unless
dex.
you've got a
At least we're good. That's the version we're playing this time round.
Okay.
There's different versions.
That's to see if
There
we've
isn't the worries.
woken up. is it?
No, this is to see where we are in initiative.
Yeah.
9.
8.
13.
Tancred 9.
Okay. I'm actually trying to work out what the hell I've written down here about my dexterity mod. I think I'm on a -1.
Okay, it's 12 then. Still pretty good.
I'm on 23 because I rolled a 19.
Wow.
Cassandra is very much awake. Not quite as awake as the skeleton, but
It would be really useful if you could add a modifier to this.
wouldn't it just? It's coming. It's coming. Ella, what was your initiative before? Did you remember? 8 plus your dex, was it, or something?
Yeah, I rolled 8, so I'm on 8. Because
Nice.
my dex is 0.
And Anerial.
I roll a 6, so with my dex modifier, that takes me up to 8.
8. So, okay. In which case, the skeletons can move first and repel.
They got better than a 23?
They're actually. The first roll I ever made in this game was a nat 20, and believe it or not, these skeletons have an initiative bonus. It's the best thing they have of +5.
Ouch.
Yeah, quite. I'm afraid these are the fast Ray Harryhausen ones. They really do go a hell of a
In
rate
that
of
case,
knots.
I definitely know what I'm going to be doing first, because those things need slowing down.
They do. They're currently legging it. That's probably the most important thing. I'm going to have to zoom out here.
Oh, they're running away, are they? Okay, fine.
2 of them are.
I'm in favour of that.
2 of them feel that they have to. They look at the warm flesh that they're having to run from, and they are in retreat. One of them, however, is not, and in desperate stakes, Ella, it will once more try to thrust its rusted knife or whatever it has got in its hand into you, and, as I think you can see, will miss. So it's sort of, you swerve to one side and the skeleton does not connect. Cassandra.
Right, so I wake up. I'm a bit confused. It's dark in my tent. I have a tent. There's lots of noise going on outside. I stick my head out of my tent, my hair all askew, and shout, "What is going on out here?" And then I see the horrible undead thing, and I scream very loudly and retreat back into my tent, whilst attempting to set it on fire.
Not the tent, presumably.
Not the tent, no.
No,
the
okay.
skeleton.
Very good. And how is this an elemental blast?
No, I don't know that yet. This is fire shaping.
Oh.
So fire shaping is fatiguing. I can make a fire shape check to ignite a fire. So set someone on fire, make a fire saving check DC 15, and then it makes a reflex save DC 15 to avoid taking +2 fire damage and must save every round. So let's see if we can set
Thank
it on
you
fire.
for that.
So I need to roll a 4.
Oh dear.
I do not. In my panic, I set a bit of my tent on fire and then retreat into the back of it, screaming loudly.
Excellent. You are
in a
now on
panic.
fire. And
I'm
here-
not on fire. My
No.
tent is slightly smouldering.
Now here we can throw in another rule. This is your very important get out of jail rule. It's particularly useful for toughness checks. I'm going to just give that hint right now. But you have conviction. Oh yes, you are convinced. You're convinced conviction types. Your conviction is definitely your get out of jail. If you spend a point of your conviction, you can re-roll any die. You can surge. Oh my yes, you can surge. This gives you an extra action, including a standard action, which I've discovered includes an attack. And it can do other things as well. So convictions are great, but they're particularly great when you roll a 3 on your toughness check. Believe me, you don't want that. Nevertheless, it's up to you, Cassandra.
No, I'm going to live with the Cassandra
Fine.
is not used to this adventuring malarkey or having to deal with horrific monsters. She sets her tent partially on fire
Excellent. We should,
and panics a lot, very loudly. There's a
Excellent.
piercing shriek.
I just want to see how the tent fares with the fire. Okay, all right then. Not too bad. It's smouldering at the moment. Thank you, Cassandra. In fact, it is now Nuana to act.
Right, so I will also wake up not really knowing what's going on.
No.
I'm assuming I do get the impression of there is a nasty something attacking one of my new companions.
I'm going to suggest that letting it ride in true Burning Wheel fashion, those emanations that you had before, that nature sensing, it's still bubbling in your consciousness, and you get the sense that it's the unnerving things that have awoken.
Right, so one quite close to us, others further away and moving rapidly.
Yes.
Do I get the bit about the moving away, not towards, or is that a little too much information?
Yeah. The most incredible thing for you is that the darkness has been transformed into light. It's as if the sun god is actually present with you, and the area is suffused in a bright and almost searing holy light.
Wow.
Yup. All around you. If anything, it means that anything outside of that is virtually impossible to see.
Yeah, especially when you've got natural night vision.
Yeah.
I'm expecting to use it. Not quite what I was after.
You can
Okay,
see
in that-
Ella Hay struggling with a thing.
Yeah, I think I'll still go ahead with what I was thinking of doing. It's just that it's now going to be virtually useless.
Oh,
But never
okay.
mind, I don't know that. There is a thing called plant shaping, which you may wish to look up.
Cloud shape.
I mean, yep,
Okay, doke.
plant shaping. It's on page 69 in the PDF.
Nice.
In particular, there's a thing called plant growth, which you can use to make the plant suddenly become very thick undergrowth that slows down far too fast monsters that are trying to run.
Got you. This affects a radius equal to your adept level times 40 feet. So you are...
I'm
120
trying not
foot
to
radius.
entangle the rest of the party.
It is a radius now. Your adept level, I think, is 3, isn't it? So it's 120
Yes, yes.
feet. Radius.
That's a lot of plants.
That is a lot of plants.
Yeah.
Just imagine as she raises the levels, just this entire sort of vista.
Well, how do you think that forest got made in the first place?
Well, do you know? Those crinkly elves. So, okay. So I'm going to say that's happening. It's fatiguing. So I do need you to make a fatigue check. So this is somewhere. There's actually your fatigue saving throw is on the sheet, but it's basically 10 plus your.
I'm not seeing it, but then we've probably all got different versions of the character sheet.
Is it your fortitude?
Fatigue saves are will saves.
Yeah, they're will saves. That's right.
They're will save, so
It's
it's
a will save,
Okay,
and it's versus a difficulty equal to 12.
So I need to roll the d20 and add my will thingy.
Correct.
Which is plus 5.
correct.
As the magical power... Oh, well, that's easy.
That's 17 plus 5, and I think I may have made it.
Yeah. So the other thing to remember is that during the day, and I'm going to say that this is the day, every additional use of magic basically in an hour's container of time is increasingly more fatiguing to you. So if you keep using magic effectively, it gets harder and harder on you to do it, and it's an incremental additional -1 that increases over time so that it stacks. So your second spell is -1, your third spell is -2.
Totally silly idea, because it's just slowing down things that are trying to run away anyway, and it's using up my fatigue. But hey,
It
I
was
was
a
panicking.
reactive thing, and it's actually going to have an effect because it's 120 feet. My goodness me. It's... So
You're going to need different maps, Graham. You're going to need maps with a much bigger ground scale.
Well, I'm going to have mobile maps that actually the undergrowth grows very slightly over time. Anyone got a mobile GIF map? I don't know. Excellent. Well, that's kind of happening, and that's having an effect. It's a difficulty strength, 20 strength to get. Jeez. Wow, that is a power
And
of
left, of
3/4.
course, you've got another power called Wild Walk, which means you can walk straight through it as if it isn't there.
While everything else is like struggling. It's a brilliant. Okay, thank you, Cassandra. Not Cassandra.
This is why I
that
did
was,
my best
Nuala.
to miss the rest of the party, because I'm not casting Wild Walk on everybody around.
Tankrin.
So there is an outbreak. Sorry, there's a blinding light. The Orky boy is there, calling down the blessings of the sun. I never thought I'd say this, but I like this Orky boy. And the university academic has just caused a massive outgrowth of wild plant shaping, which has presumably entrapped most of the undead.
It's entrapped all of you. It's entrapped all of you. Mother Nature is not jealous.
And next to me, I'm not sure. Is that true? Is it completely non-discriminatory?
Plants there become so overgrown they entangle anyone in the area who must make
Which
a
is why I
reflex
thought
saving
at the
throw.
time that I was carefully aiming it so as to not include the party.
Well, it affects a radius equal to your adept level around you, I think.
No, it says you can focus the power in a specific area with a 40-foot radius.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Lovely. All right. In which case, you can see it. Yes.
Okay.
Excellent.
I'm just checking the situation. so Orkibi's called down the sun. The zombies are running away. There's plant growth everywhere that's entangling them.
Yep.
And next to me, there's a tent that's on fire.
Yes.
Correct.
I obviously pick up last night's soup and throw it over the tent.
Oh.
I scream more loudly.
Okay. There's a fizzing and hissing sound as the soup hits the smouldering tent flap.
You can thank me later, Cassandra.
That's burnt.
I can't at the
now.
moment. I'm too busy sort of sobbing and screaming incoherently.
Excellent. In which case, I'm going to call on Aniriel. If Aniriel wants to do anything.
I'm not quite sure what's left. I basically arise out of a sort of a deep sleep, having only just got back to sleep.
Yeah.
And now things are on fire. The whole place is lit up. The undergrowth seems rather taller than I remember it.
Yeah. Over there.
I think I'd probably just pick up my bow and look to see if there's a target through the glare and the foliage.
Yeah, you can pick up the bow as a kind of a free action. You can load it as a move action, which still gives you an attack. And there is a target not too far away from you, well illuminated, indeed, literally only 15 feet away.
And what is it?
It's a skeletal creature. baleful red eyes gleaming from its skull. It has a rusted dagger in its hand and scraps of armor on it, and it's busy trying to stab Elahe.
Well, of course, these are people famously immune to bows. So I think probably what I will do is actually not attempt to archer it, because that just strikes me as a recipe for futility. So I will instead drop my bow, which hopefully is a free action, and rush it, drawing my sword, and we'll work out how much confusion, what sort of level of readiness I achieve.
Sure. Okay. Well,
if I can get a swing at it, I'll take a swing at it. Otherwise, I shall consider myself poised to take a swing at it.
I think formally, drawing a weapon is I think a move action.
It is. It's a move action.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you will not be able to move to it, I think, and attack. You could step, but it's out of step range. So you're sort of poised and ready to attack, if you like.
Okay, that seems fair.
Yep. And you're now basically in action.
Sure, that's fine.
And Elahe, it is you yourself having.
Okay, so I'm going to. I think I can hit it with my warhammer, but I'll have to make a concentration check to maintain the spell. Is that right?
You will, because it's normally a standard action to maintain. If you can do it as a move with a concentration check.
Yep. So concentration is something ridiculously high, isn't it? It's.
I think you've got a good concentration, yeah.
I've got +9, but I think I do need. So it's.
Maintenance is a free action in this game.
That's different, I think.
Yeah, it is. It is in this game. In this game, maintenance is a free action.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but this is a concentration, which is slightly different.
It is. So if you go to the next page, Tom, under concentration, if a power has concentration,
Intense concentration.
Yeah, correct. Read it, got it. And that's because he's attacking, isn't it?
Yeah, and that will be DC 16, because I think your power rank is 6.
Yep. So I've got to roll
A 7.
up. Yep, roll a 7.
Do you maintain the
plus
light? That's the question.
Well, if you don't, on the plus side, they're mired in plants.
No.
No, you don't.
Okay, so the light goes there, but I can still attack it. Right, so basic attack, melee attack bonus, I think is just +1, isn't it? So
Plus your strength modifier, I think. Or dex. Was it dex or strength to attack? I can't remember. I think
It's dex.
it's dex to attack. So 1 plus your dex mod.
which is 0, so that's +1. Okay.
You miss.
Oh well.
You miss.
Yes.
Of course, interesting. So, as you desperately swing at the skeletal foe, the light of your god fades and diminishes, and darkness envelops
Yes.
the surroundings. Having said that, I now need to roll reflex saves for these two things, because they are... Nope. And another one. No. They can't move. They are held by increasing bits of vegetation which are clawing up their legs and holding onto them, desperate. And you can see them wavering on the spot, trying to move, but they just can't. They just can't move. However, the one that's in front of you, Elahe, stupidly, I'm going to say stupidly, has another swing at you. Blooming God in heaven. And that was the end of Elahe. And as the light of your god fades from view, the skeleton plunges its knife deep into your body. That's a +1, but that's unarmed, it's weapon, so it's 2. It's got another 2 because it's in... Oh no, I need to roll to see if it is actually a critical. So the way it works is if you roll a... Well, first of all, if you roll a nat 20, you always hit. Your weapons will have a critical range. It's often 20, but it can be a bit less, and you have feats which make it even less. That means that you have a threat. Now, a threat is not a critical. It's a chance that you do have a critical. And what I have to do now is roll again to see if I get a straight hit on you. And I do not. So it's not a critical hit. So I don't add extra damage into the roll. However, you have, I'm afraid, been hit. And you do need to make a toughness check. But it is only a meager 17.
Only.
I know.
17.
I know. We may need to do.
It's very hard to
about
get a
this.
decent toughness unless you have masses and masses of armor.
Toughness just doesn't, and it doesn't increase particularly unless
So
I might house rule it.
I rolled 16. So
16. So that was a
good.
failure,
Yeah.
but it's only a failure by 1. So a failure by 1 means that's not too bad. A failure by 5 or more, it starts to get a bit nasty. By 1, you are hurt. So you note that you've got a hurt. The first hurt you get for free, in the way I'm playing it. So it has no immediate effect on you. It doesn't even minimise your toughness check next time, assuming there is a next time. But you are hurt, and it's worth noting. Okay, that was it. It's not going to move. It's going to keep going because it can carry on from there. Cassandra, are you just going to weep?
No, I'm going to do something, largely because I need to go now. However, so what Cassandra will do is she will grab her pack and clutch it tightly to her, which has all of the most important things in her shoes and her spellbook. She will close her eyes tightly and shout, "There's no place like home! There's no place like home!" And I will teleport back to Greyhawk. But I will need to make a power check.
Can you do that? Have you got that?
Greyhawk?
Yes, I have teleport. I have teleport as one of my spells. And the base DC is 10. And because I've lived there for ages, that adds 5 for familiarity, which means my DC is only 15 to go back home. I succeed! Good luck, everyone. And I shall see you at the next game. Well, naturally, I will have returned to see you come back successfully to your adventure, or to mourn the fact that you were brutally murdered by skeletons on an unknown hill.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
that's
Andrew.
good. Cheers, Andrew. Take care.
cheers.
Sorry, I'm a bit. Can we have a moment there?
So rather than leaving a pair of smoking boots, she's left a smoking tent.
Yes.
That is incredible. So teleport is a pretty powerful power. Yeah. It's a move action. Anyway, she's done. That's amazing. Okay. Well, I mean, perhaps you don't know this, but Cassandra has, in fact, isn't even now reclining somewhere in a nice establishment somewhere in Greyhawk. Nuana, is there anything you wish to do?
The plants. Do I need to carry on concentrating for them to keep hold of things?
Let's check. This was plant shaping, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. No, you don't. It lasts. What does it say? It says. Okay. Yeah. It doesn't really say actually how long it lasts, but it's not one that you need to concentrate. It's currently in play, if you like, and currently and so it's still the case that this is that the undergrowth is sort of growing and forming and entangling.
Okay, so whatever's out there and whichever direction it's trying to run in, I can forget it for now. The plants are handling it.
Yeah.
And we've got this nasty thing. Did I just see it do terrible damage to one of my friends or not? I didn't quite follow what was going on there.
You saw you perhaps saw a spark as a rusted knife sort of smashes against a belt buckle of poor old Elahay, and you can still make out the baleful red glow of the unquiet spirit through the sockets of the skull of the skeleton.
We end up with Elahay lying on the ground screaming a lot.
No, he's not.
Not quite.
He's
got an owl.
Not.
I've said owl. Owl
Yeah.
that hurts.
You probably heard a yelp.
Okay, but it doesn't sound like that. difficult and dangerous and needs fixing right now. Okay. In that case, I must admit I'm a little blank on what I would do next. I mean, join in the fighting? No, that's not what I'm for. I get other people to do that. That's what other people are for.
It is.
So, I don't think I will be doing anything much for the moment.
That's
Back
fine.
off, so I'm not in any danger of being in the fight. Keep a lookout around for if there's anything else approaching from other directions. Because I've only covered the right-hand side of the map in greenery, I think.
You have.
Interesting
Tankering
thought.
then. And while you're doing that, Tankering, is there anything you want to do?
Well, it's a bit tricky, really, isn't it? Because the moment I enter into the area with the plant growth, then how long does it last?
You just
You're not. It's currently in play, so it's going to be for most of this scene.
I think I've just drawn on the map so you can see roughly where it's meant to be.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay. I will draw my nun. Actually, do you mind if I drew my nunchuck last turn as my move action, and I had my throwing soup on the tent as my free action?
Sure.
Or standard action. Okay. So I've got my nunchaku out. So swinging them dangerously,
Oh yeah.
possibly to myself. I will move forward and therefore will probably enter the vegetation.
Okay.
At which point I will stop, I think,
Okay.
and make an attack on that undead thing.
Okay. Make me an attack.
I get a total of 10.
Which will not be enough to hit the skeleton.
I will. I will do nothing more.
Okay.
Move on. Rock on, Tommy.
All right.
It seems that I can't actually move my own token at the moment. Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Also, there's nothing to really. Oh, it's starting to move now.
Right. I'm going to say
It doesn't really matter
it might be a
enormously.
lag thing. Thank you, Tankrin. Anirian.
If I was doing a notice thing, how much? What do I need to roll for that, or do we just ignore it because there's nothing there to notice?
I've sort of noted that you're noticing, and if something happens, then I will give you if you like, a readied notice check as a defensive maneuver, if you like, if something comes along. So you've minimised the chance of surprise by telling me you're doing this.
Okay, fine.
Thank you, Aniriel.
I will stride in and smite the foul creature.
Excellent.
Which takes me to a mighty my mallet, 13.
And your masterwork blade strikes true.
Hurrah!
What damage do you do, sir?
I do damage of +3.
3, so that's 18, and I roll with a toughness check of that. I roll 13. That's 5, so it is carrying it's not entirely an appropriate token, actually. But just to note, you've smashed into the skeleton, and bits of ribs are cut off by your fine blade, and they sort of fly in the air and scatter around it as it's for a moment there. Its red baleful eyes flicker as the power is somewhat diminished. Elahe.
Right, I've got to try smashing it as well.
Smash it.
Fail miserably.
I
think I've done all my good rolls.
Yeah.
I can normally get about one good roll a session, and I think I've had it.
Absolutely. Spalt for choice. The skeleton rolls a 14 against your defense, Elahe.
No, I think my defense was 13, so that's another hit.
It looks like it's another hit. Let me just check that's right. Attack. +1, yeah, it's 14. So make me a toughness check, please.
Oh dear. It's not good. 8.
I suggest, given that you're facing a 17, that's 9. That would be a wound. You may want to try and better that by spending some conviction and rolling again.
Okay, I'll try that. I'll spend a point of conviction. No, 8 again. So
8. So it is a wound. So please note that you are wounded. At this point, the blade has run true, and you are wounded. The wound, and I'm going to put that on you as a sign that you're wounded. You are at -1 to further toughness checks, and you're at -2 because you are wounded. You're also stunned, I think, or shaken. Stunned or shaken. I'll check which it is. Which means that you are having difficulty doing anything else. Cassandra is even now ordering canapes in Greyhawk, and so Nuana is sort of surveying the scene to make sure that nothing else is effectively coming from what would be effectively the south and the west, as we're looking at things at the moment, and maybe a little bit of the northwest as well, which leaves Tancred.
I swing my nunchuck.
Good.
16.
It is a solid hit, and it's bludgeoning damage, I think, with yours.
It's bludgeoning damage.
And so, what damage do you do with your nunchuck?
+1.
+1. So that's 16, 6. That's 10. It's disabled. It clatters to the floor. And it's still sort of wavering, if you like, and it is disabled. It's, if you like, its spine is almost sort of bludgeoned in two, and although it's still waving its knife, it's not especially waving its knife, I want to say. Yeah. Which makes it easy for between you to basically clatter it into pieces. It also can't really move. It's actually its legs are entwined by this Nuana's nature growth, and I'm going to suggest it's that's what I wanted to do. It clatters to the ground. It's quite literally dead.
Hurrah.
Hurrah.
Now, on the basis that I'm going to suggest that these skeletons are going to struggle free at some point, and desperately and with great difficulty carve their way away with the memory of the god's light in their unquiet spirits' minds.
Yeah.
Hurrah.
Unless anyone wants to hunt them down and kill them properly because they're undead. Right, fine.
That's why we don't go near the mounds.
Okay. There we are. So it's morning. Hooray!
What was the reflex saving throw that would be required to walk through the undergrowth that Noana had created?
Yeah, it's a reflex versus difficulty 20, plant shaping.
Difficulty 20?
Yeah.
So hang on. So plants there become so overgrown they entangle everyone who must make a reflex saving throw.
Which must be a reflex saving throw against the spell, mustn't it?
It will indeed, actually. It's the reflex saving throw is against the spell. If you fail that...
And what is the spell? What is the difficulty when cast by our plant-based friend?
Do you know what your spell difficulty is?
Right, let me just check what our spell is based on.
Yeah.
It doesn't say, so I believe I get the choice, which means it's based on my int, so that's a +5.
Okay, so that means that's +5 on top
17.
of...
There's a thing like you've put in here called power mod, and I don't know quite what that is.
It's the number to the right of it. It's the number to whatever number is to the right. I think it's just spell difficulty or something.
The power mod is +11.
Yeah.
What a power mod is.
Save DC is 17. So the save DC, the sort of difficulty for others to resist your magic, is 17.
Okay, that's really quite important. That is an incredibly powerful spell.
Yep. So is the light, and so is the teleport. I think we're starting to get a view that this is a powers-based system, and they actually get more powerful because they're often based on adept level as a, if you like, a power indicator. So these become more powerful in terms of range, capability, and of course, as you go up power levels as an adept, your ability to cast magic becomes easier. Your will saving throw is higher. So you become more and more powerful using the same magic, but the same magic becomes more powerful with you.
Now, looking at that one, I took a couple of other powers that become relevant. There's a thing called Wild Walk, which roughly means I can walk through any entangling undergrowth as if it basically wasn't there.
Yep.
Whether it's stuff I've created myself or stuff somebody else did. So I don't know.
Wild Walk, is it?
Wild Walk, yes.
Is that in the other one? Might be the other one.
I must have found it straight out of the ordinary PDF, or possibly the SRD.
Wild Walk.
Right, so that might be... I'm having a look in the Adept book to see if we're there.
That won't have been where I got it from, because I haven't got any such thing.
No.
I can only see Wind Walk in the rule book.
Right, maybe it's the SRD then, hang on.
Okay.
I know.
Anyway, excellent.
No, it's not, because if we're going to go into any combat situation and you're going to deploy that spell, we need to have a way of being able to get through it.
Exactly. Okay, I've slapped it copied it into my, on the end of my character sheet. Let me go over to, oh God, where's it gone? Where's Discord gone? I have too many things up.
Yeah, quite.
Right, I've just slapped a description of Wild Walk into Discord.
Okay.
And that's a power. And the other thing I mentioned earlier is a thing called Imbue Item, which means I can make charms. Okay. So if I want to spend a bit of time sitting around making charms and doing very little else, I can set things up so that we all have a charm of Wild Walk on our persons. So I can slap up these plants entangling everything in sight.
Yeah.
We'll fire off our charm. We're immune to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah. Okay.
At least if I've understood charms correctly.
We will discover that next time, I think, or in between time.
Having Imbue Item means I am a magical item factory.
Yes.
I can only do it with powers I myself possess.
Yeah,
it
involves some cost in terms of
supernatural
time.
one if it starts off masterwork.
Yeah.
Or you've done that with my dagger.
Can I make a constitution check to try and get my hurt condition?
You can. So you can make a recovery check. So a hurt recovers really, really, very, very quickly.
I'm wounded, so...
There is a skill called medicine, and I've got it.
Yeah, you may not need it. You may not need it because something like a hurt recovers virtually every 10 minutes. A wound, I think, is on the hour. I could be wrong. Let's just check that.
I think it's every hour you get to roll a...
Is it every hour? Okay. Damage and recovery. There we go. So... So yes, it's a... okay. Yep, you can make a check. It's a constitution check, interestingly.
I've rolled a 2, so...
The difficulty though is only 10.
Yes, I only have 2.
Oh, 2.
So...
Okay, that doesn't help you.
No. Plus I'm at -2. Oh no, I'm not -2 on there, am I?
Well, it says you can make a recovery check once per minute for staggered and unconscious, once per hour for wounded, and once per day for disabled. It doesn't actually say what for hurt. Hurt conditions are the same at a rate of 1 per hour. So yeah, you're currently carrying your hurt.
Yes.
It doesn't have a great effect on you though. It's just a bit of a. It's a nice...
I got wounded as well, didn't I?
Oh, did you get? You did get wounded.
Yes.
So you can do one of two things. You can either spend a conviction point and have an immediate recovery. Somebody could provide help or aid, or you sort of carry the wound with you if you like, and in an hour's time you can make a check.
I do have the cure ability.
You do.
Per hour.
You could cure, which gives you an immediate recovery.
As a cure check result, so I'm not entirely sure what that is.
That's equal to your. It's actually equal to your spell.
So that's +9 then, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, it means that you're almost certainly going to make your wound recovery, because what it does is it makes you roll instead of your Constitution check. It replaces it with your power check. So you roll d20 and add 9, and as far as I can tell, if I'm doing this right, you just recover, unless you roll a 1.
Yep. I rolled 16, so that's quite good.
So your wound is recovered. Cure is a fatiguing ability, I believe.
Yes.
So you need to make a will saving throw versus a difficulty of 12.
Yep.
And you make
so
that,
done.
even allowing for the fact that it's at an additional -1, because you're now into your second power of the day.
Yep.
And so you are not fatigued, and the wound is erased. Your god is with you again.
Yes, at last.
Excellent. And so it is that you travel on. And you arrive at effectively what unremarkably, because the river is fordable with a slightly rickety bridge over the Retenza. But nevertheless, it's secure enough for you to travel across, mules or otherwise, without any problem. And you take a right, a trail from the main road heads off into the east, as indicated on the map, and takes you through a wooded area to the aforementioned sinkholes, which I shall. And there are some caves, and indeed there are two main cave entrances. One, which apparently isn't the one, and a second one. During the early afternoon, probably when you arrive here, or I'm going to say it's about midday. You can hear in the distance, far away, but reverberating across the plains, you can hear the sound of drums.
Oh, lovely.
Okay.
Can we tell what sort of drums?
They're just a heavy-skinned, deep reverberating drum that just goes thudum, thudum, thudum.
Oh my God! It's the drumming of gas bows.
And not even it's not even drums to the sound of a march because they're too slow.
Okay. Where are we on this map?
You are. You're kind of roughly here.
Roughly where?
There. There's a very small entrance that you've passed just here. But that's going to take your buttons off. Oh, yeah. And there is a larger entrance here.
Well, it's not a problem for me because I'm an escape artist, but I'm guessing the rest of you aren't.
We can go in, but you'll have to leave your meals with us.
And I'm not splitting the party. So, could we have 5 minutes, Graham?
We can. And this is a denouement scene, so we'll have 5 minutes, and then we will sort of have a short scene, then wrap.
Okay. See you in 5.
Okay.
Bye.
Yes, I think the plant growth has great potential as a combat tactic. Even if we don't have the feat, it slows us down.
Yeah.
I could imagine it being a feat that wilderness roaming creatures will also have, though. So we need to be a bit careful. And I suggest that if we can, we pick up the feat ourselves at some point, which is a bit of an uphill struggle for me because I'm going to have to train myself in survival and then pick up the feat. Plus, I only move 20 feet around anyway, so I'm quite hobbled by it. So we need to be careful where we drop it.
Yeah, this is why I was being so careful to specify this is placed so as not to tangle the party.
And once we get good at moving, or we're just aware of the fact that we're halving our movement, it still may be a very valid approach.
This is going to be very interesting. I look forward to seeing how that plays out, I can tell you. Anyway, you're at the sinkholes. You've actually made it.
Right, so those are the sinkholes, are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
I listen at the door.
Okay. Well, there's a whooshing sound, and you can make out the sound of running water as well. Fast running water. Deeper in the caves. It's very dark in there. There's no sign of any lights. It's just the sort of sliver of lights that find its way through this sinkhole entrance.
It doesn't seem to want to let me scroll the map by dragging.
That's annoying. Left click and pull, not working for you?
It started drawing instead.
Oh, it's because you've got the drawer on. You need to take the drawer off.
A bit on the outside rather than...
Yeah.
Yeah, if I grab it by a bit of black to the side of the map, then I can drag the map around.
Okay.
What's the scale?
Okay, big man. Yeah, what's the scale you were about to say, weren't you, Jane?
So each square... But the way it works is you judge the scale from your token. So your token is always in a 5-foot square, if you see what I mean.
Right.
And you're scaled differently depending on the map. It calculates that for you.
I think we should go in. I think Big Boy and I should go first.
Okay.
Tell us when you want to stop us, Graham.
That's fine. Yeah, you go in. It's cool and dark in here. You can see to your...
Would you like me to have spent 10 minutes mentally scouting the area out? Monsters and things?
You can have done that. No sign, although I think your survival would tell you, and I'm going to just tell you rather than make you roll, that there is definitely signs of tracks in and out of this sinkhole. Heavy boots, humanoid feet, quite fresh. Certainly over the past week or maybe 2 weeks. You've got an entrance to you've got an exit to your left and right as you enter. There are even some steps carved into the rock here on your right. And
I will suggest that we want to move to that building because that seems a good place for them to stash their treasure.
Yeah.
But I'm going to suggest that I just scout ahead, just to this. There isn't a way of. Oh, I can use draw, I suppose, can't I? I'm just going. I suggest I just sneak up to this junction.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that all right, folks?
Yeah. She says from outside.
And I'm gonna make a stealthy approach. If you need me to make a roll, please ask me to.
Yes, I would like a stealth check from you. That would be quite good.
I got 17.
Thank you. That is very good. I'm going to make a roll over here. And I'm not even going to make it a secret one. Let's just do a roll. Very good. 17. You quietly and stealthily come around the corner. You can see very little other than you can see around the corner. Well, in fact, there's a couple of bits of rock that are sticking out, creating effectively like an entranceway in front of you to your right as you're coming in there. And this chamber...
They're carved, aren't they?
Yeah, they're carved almost. Semi-constructed, you think. Whereas ahead of you, straight ahead of you, and to the other end of this chamber, there is another natural exit from this chamber. The sound of the water is much louder now in this echoing cave and pretty much dominates what you can see. The other thing that you will note now is that there is some form of flickering light which can be seen, if you like, coming out of that entranceway to your right.
So we think there might be is it firelight? Might be fire
it could
here?
be. Yes, it could well be. What you want is a fire shaper right now, but she's now off her second canapes and is now drinking wine in Greyhawk. She's probably on a second bath as well, I should imagine.
Well, thank goodness she's not here anymore. She'd be screaming. She'd be screaming, tripping over her feet and setting a light to her skirts. I think there's something to the right. I suggest we go in hard and deal with them. What do you say, chaps?
Okay. Well, can I suggest we sneak up and have a look and see what it is we're dealing with and then make a plan?
Yes, you could do that.
I shall sneak with her. Well, I too am extremely stealthy.
Could you make me that roll? Thank you.
Oh dear.
I'll tell you what, I'll take that side of the entrance and you can take the other one.
Fair enough.
So that gives me a +2. Right, okay, so it's 7 plus 2 because you've got a circumstantial bonus for the...
Okay.
Because of the water and the sound.
My stealth bonus is 8.
9, 17 is your total then. Thank you.
Okay.
In terms of stealthiness, I found some really interesting plants growing on the wall, and I'm going to get a knife and scrape them off.
Excellent. I shall come to you in a moment, actually.
I have absolutely no stealth ability whatsoever.
Excellent.
Actually, I'll tell you what I've got, Jane. Yes, okay, I'll talk to you out of game.
Yep, okay.
Oh, a chat facility in VTT is coming. It's one of their next things.
Yeah. This is one of those things where, like a Mad magazine comic I once saw, which is site of proposed tennis court, site of proposed grocery store, site of proposed, etc. Yeah. Aha! Oh no.
2 figures. So in conversation, really, hooded. It's difficult to make out what they're saying because of the proximity of the fast-flowing water. They're probably standing close to each other so that they make each other heard over it. It echoes throughout. What do you want to do?
Is there anything about them that's distinctive? Livery or anything like that? Could I make a notice roll?
You can. I'm going to suggest. Do you have dark vision? I mean, there's light. There's light there.
It doesn't matter. I have night vision. I think we all do.
Okay. Wow.
I think we all have night vision.
Goggles.
It'll save you hours and hours of having to do fog of war.
It does. Well, I haven't got it on this, just as well.
13.
Okay. They are armed. You can see that they seem to have scabbards that are sticking out of the bottom of their cloaks. The cloaks are heavy. No sign of any livery that you can see. The cloaks are dark brown, maybe black. They are roughly. They're bearded. Speaking in sort of raised tones, slightly. You can just about make out, I think, with that roll, you can make out someone say, "It really is time for us to move on." I guess that it is. The master will want to see more messages.
I'm going to beckon to the big man to come over and to Elahay to come and join us.
Okay.
Right, what do we think? Should we just step out and demand they hand over the money?
What I was going to say was I'm going to take an aim action
Yep.
with my longbow. So I've got someone lined up.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Elahay?
I don't like the sound of masters, so yeah. You could try that. I doubt it'll work.
Right, I move forward into the room with my colleagues.
Yep.
And say, right, that's it. Hand over the treasure, or I'll have to release the cave troll.
They whirl round. They see you. One of them pulls something out from under its cloak. Could be a weapon. You're not sure. It's or a club or something. The other is turning to run, as far as you can tell.
I really am trying to bluff them into thinking I've got a cave troll, by the way.
It's almost as if they're. I mean, in fact, could you make a bluff? And I will do. I got 12. I've got less. So, so on an opposed roll, your bluff succeeds. They probably, possibly this explains their sudden desire for departure, but they're not arguing with the notion that you've got a cave troll, and they are wanting to do a runner. I'm going to ask for initiatives from you all. I'm going to just see how well these two do. Okay, that's not too bad. They're on 15s.
It's dreadful. I got 5.
Okay. Tranquil's on a 5.
I've said -2.
What a time to waste a natural 20.
Oh
Yeah.
What is that? 22 altogether then?
So 22 for me.
Yep. Wow.
20, just 20 for me.
Just
and my
20
initiative
from.
bonus is -2. So I think I've got an initiative of -1. I'll just wander back to where I came
I think you have. I'm going to
This is
suggest.
really interesting.
I'm
And
going to
there's some more
suggest,
here.
Luana, that you are maybe going to be going last. They're on a 15. Okay. In which case, it is an aerial.
Well, since I've lined myself up, I might as well learn how an aim rule works and take the shot. So,
Sounds good.
Certainly.
According to this, it's +5 if it's a ranged attack at melee range, which seems a curious thing to say.
Okay, let's have a look at it.
I'm on page 99 of the modified Wombat.
Wombat?
Or +2 if from a greater distance. I don't know what it constitutes by melee. What is melee range? Is that literally if I'm firing a longbow at hand to hand?
I don't know. So I think what that is for.
I think aim may not purely be for missile weapons.
It's not.
Well, no, but it's not. But it has different rules. But basically it literally says, ranged attack at melee range. Now I would have thought a ranged attack at like short range or effective range would seem more plausible.
Well, you get the drop. These are stationary targets. You get a +4 to your aimed missile attack.
Okay.
They're flat-footed, aren't they?
Yes.
So, sorry, say that again.
They're
They're
flat-footed because they're
flat-footed.
You've got the drop on them, basically.
Right. So is that an extra bonus?
It means my defense is going to be lower.
Okay.
We'll come to that when we see what you've got. You've not only got a +4, I've got a minus to my defense.
Right. Okay. So I get +4, +20. So I'm criticaled.
Okay. What is the... I'm going to suggest to you that you resoundingly hit... Oh, well, no, actually, it's 20, so it's a threat of a critical. So
Okay.
you've definitely hit. So you now roll again and just see if you do a straight hit against their flat-footed defense, which I'll let you know in a minute.
Sorry. Wrong button. Here we go. So 7 plus lots of different bonuses, which I'm assuming will get me over the line.
It probably will. In which case, you're critical.
so
So
7.
what damage do you do plus your critical damage?
So my base damage is 4, as is my critical bonus.
So it's +8.
So it's plus 8.
8.
I assume.
So my toughness check is against a difficulty of 23. So let me just make a roll on that.
I see. So it's based on the second. Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, it's 15 plus your damage. That is the difficulty for your toughness check, or in this case, their toughness check. Okay, I roll. So I get 2, 3, 15. You get 23. The difference is therefore 8. So it's within the wound category. The shot wounds the figure straight away. There's a yelp of pain as this figure is wounded, and the arrow's sticking in his left shoulder. Thank you, Aniriel. Elahe.
Right. I'm going to use my fire shaping power to try and ignite the other one.
Okay. Nice.
So it's a difficulty 15 fire shaping check.
Go for it.
So
you summon the power.
So
probably make that 11 plus your power.
Yep.
Yep, so that's a make. So that's a success.
So that's must make a reflex save 15.
Make it.
To avoid take. Yeah, okay, so he's not damaged.
Okay.
Oh, it says target. I know. Yeah, so he's fine.
Okay, he avoids it. And if that was fatiguing, I'll just let you make a roll at -2, if it is. Don't know if it is.
Yes, it is.
Okay, in which case you need to make a will saving throw versus a difficulty of 12 at -2.
So I've failed that, so I've got another level.
You are fatigued.
Yes.
Note that you are fatigued, which is a new condition, which we'll sort out in a minute. Excellent. And so it is them. They are bloody off from here. Wading into the water and therefore going more slowly. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that's something else. I need to roll an initiative for that. Okay, that's it for them. Tancred.
Yeah, so I kind of lost the initiative here, but there we go. I can't. Can I see the creature inside the hut?
No. You can perhaps make out that a door is being opened, though.
I need to do that. I move to here.
Yep.
And then I think I can hold my action, can't I?
You can hold.
I will hold on Overwatch,
okay,
so that I can twat what comes out of the room.
And then this comes out of the room.
And I twat it.
It's a hobgoblin.
Oh,
possibly
good.
One of the Legion. You're not sure. And it looks it's about to look very surprised.
I swing my nunchucks all over the place. And get 17 on my hit.
Well, that's a hit. It's flat-footed anyway, and it's surprised, and you've just nunchucked it in the face. Could you tell me what damage you're doing, please?
+1 damage bonus.
+1 damage bonus. So that's a 16 to save for the It makes a 17. It saves the damage. With its toughness check, it is unaffected by your blow. It smashes off it. And he looks at you rather surprised. And will...
I scream, "Give us the treasure!"
It will... Oh God! What's he gonna? It's gonna go back in. It's going back in. It's gonna. It's closing the door. He's gonna just try and close himself. You can see a wild look in its eyes. And there was just for a minute there, as it closed the door, you could see a ripple of blue energy energizing around its left hand or claw as it smashes closed the door. Anariel, it is you, having caught one in the shoulder and it's run off. What are you doing?
I assume that I have no target in sight, do I?
Do you have no target in sight?
So I will draw my sword and come as far this way as I can get.
Okay.
How far can I come?
You can do a double move, which is effectively up to 12 squares.
Oh, okay.
Assuming you've got a move of 30.
And obviously, as a
I tell you what, I'm going to say it's 10 squares because I'm going to say you're sort of drawing your sword. It's just taking up a bit of time.
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm assuming I can just skip lightly over them now.
You can. You can pass through friends.
And I want to make a point of just literally stepping over if I possibly can.
Okay. I won't make you make a reflex save, although it could be comedic. Okay. Excellent. Well, you can see two targets, as it were. One wading through a sort of, I'm going to say, knee-high, fast-flowing stream. It looks to be flowing from, if you like, north to south on this map, from what I can tell.
I'm not particularly interested in picking off a wounded target who's retreating.
Right.
I'm probably more interested in watching the door. I assume from what it was, I could have seen that at least the door opened and closed.
Yes.
Even if I didn't see who it was.
Yes.
So what's in there, young lady?
Don't know yet. I shut the door.
Did you not see it? I thought it...
There's a hobgoblin, and it appears to be casting forth some magic in its left fist. We may have to burn it out.
Aha. How sturdy is this door I'm looking at, by the way?
I think our friend. Sorry.
Go on.
I think our friend might be able to bring a blowtorch to it.
Okay. How sturdy is the door?
It's incredibly sturdy, but the actual, if you like, the door itself is of some ancient iron construction. It's like a vault door almost in terms of its particular thickness. But the thing that you will notice is that the hinges it's on are quite weak. So although the door itself is quite firmly constructed and is well fitting, remarkably in some ways well fitting to the door frame, but the hinges itself look like they've seen much better days.
So if you were to strike it with something substantial, it might just fall inwards.
Potentially, and it would need to be a pretty damn good heavy blow or some force.
We all turn to look at Elahay.
Okay, I shall step up then.
Well, it would be if you're looking to try and smash the door open, it's going to be isn't it sort of stretch? What is it? Sort of something in Ben bars? I seem to recall. You make a roll, or did you? Sorry, I'm going back to D&D 1E. It's probably a strength roll, isn't it?
Oh, hang on. James had a very sensible suggestion.
Except that I've also got a negative initiative, which I was interpreted as I've actually wandered the wrong way down the corridor.
Oh, all right then. Feel free.
It's fine.
Feel free. But you're right. This would have been a good place for you.
Yeah,
Except, of course, we've just established it's an iron door, not a wooden one.
Oh, okay. I can't do that then. Fine.
Okay. Ella, hey, what are you going to do?
I've got to try and bash down the door then, if that's what they want me to do.
Door smashy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know quite what.
I think
similar.
I think it's a straight strength actually. Unless I am wrong, if I go to the doing physical things, I suspect that is physical actions. Yeah.
Does Cancrin wear a helmet by any chance?
No.
Right.
And don't even go
Okay.
there.
You think of a no battery around there.
What are you up to? That's what I want to know. What are you up to? Yeah, I'm going to say it's a straight strength check until I find out otherwise. You kind of
No.
Unless you want to be convicted of that.
No.
Yeah, go on. Be convinced of it.
You appear to have
almost-
bruised your shoulder.
Be convinced.
Okay, I'll have another go then. There's 2 conviction points gone then.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
18.
They do come back. But incidentally, for those who want to know, conviction comes back at a point a day. But if you want it to be speedier, if you signal to me that you are playing to either your virtue or your vice, as in you're playing to your nature, especially if that causes you some trouble, then, well, I give you back your conviction, don't I? I'll give you a point back quicker. So that's how conviction comes. It's in playing true to you, and okay, over time it will come back. Anyway, that's by the by. That's a ruleism. Off you go, Elaho.
So I rolled 18 again.
Oh, you
on the-
did.
on the reroll.
Excellent. And have you got any strength bonus, by the way?
Yeah, +1.
Okay. That is enough. The door creaks. An Ariel's sort of careful viewing of the hinges have, sure enough, crack. The door flies back, and I need to make a reflex saving throw for the hobgoblin death mage. It's not really a death mage. Makes the
We
roll.
weren't terribly worried, although we should have been, seeing how strong powers are in this game.
Exactly. Steps back, and there is a door effectively, sort of, almost right up to its toes, and it's a small sort of barrack-like room with a chest in the top left corner from where you are now. Job done there, Elahe. Which actually takes us to Tancrin.
Well, I am courageous. I'm also selfish, so I'm going to jump in
Hurrah! Okay.
and flail at it with my nunchucks.
Excellent. I'm prepared for my toughness check. There you go. See how you do.
17.
That's a
Plus
hit.
1 damage.
That's an absolute hit. That does beat its defense. It was a +1, so it's 16. It's like, oh god, never. Right, there you go. Yeah, it just bounces off once more. Bounces off this hobgoblin. It just goes to show that toughness saves can be done sometimes. It looks quite disconcerted to you as the blue energy is starting to ripple up its arm, and in fact, at this moment, it discharges its blue energy.
Oh no, I'm in an enclosed space with a discharging hobgoblin.
Yeah, it's going to discharge all over you. And if I can find my sheet, it will tell me what it does. That sinking feeling, it says here.
I'm sure there was a health and safety memo got sent round about this.
There is. It's got to make a roll, though. It basically is going to make an attack roll against you. What is your dodge defense?
What's your base defense? I can't remember now. Is it 10 or is it 12?
Base defense is equal to 10 plus your combat skill, which is based on your level and your roll, or your roll, plus your dex. So it's going to, I reckon, for you and an adept at level 3, it's going to be about, depending on your dex, it's going to be 11 plus your dex.
Actually, my combat bonus plus my size modifier.
Ooh, nice. Like it.
Means that my defense is +4, so it is 14. Yeah, 14.
14.
Nice.
Sadly, this hobgoblin shaman with a mana blast has actually succeeded in hitting by 1.
Yep.
And therefore,
So that's a hurt
check at with a difficulty of 18.
Oh yes, I have to make a toughness. So I have to roll my toughness.
There are alternatives where I roll damage. But yeah, that's how
I rolled 21.
Excellent. In fact, what happens is the blue arc of energy comes straight towards you, but you literally at the last minute just sort of slightly dodge to one side, and it powers off and it actually discharges fully in the door that you're standing on. So you've got slightly singed feet, but actually it doesn't cause you any damage at all.
Frankly, on a natural 20, it wasn't slightly.
No.
I think on a natural 20, I am literally standing upside down on the ceiling.
Yeah, I think it is bullet time. An aerial.
I shall flash forward in the style of which my fencing instructor once taught me when I was young and have at it.
Excellent. I'm watching. Oh!
Hey!
It was more than that. It was better than your instructor ever saw of you.
Absolutely. I like this dice roller.
It's a critical.
I have to roll again.
It's a threat of a critical.
It's a threat of a critical. Sorry, if I'll let you do that rather than me roll now. So let's just
I've
see
got
if
to
you
say,
do critical.
this is the bit of 3rd edition D&D that I could live without, frankly, but we're playing it as written.
That is a critical. So it's
right.
It's your longsword damage, masterwork, plus
Masterwork is just a hit bonus, by the way. It doesn't affect damage.
In which case, what's your critical
So the total
range?
damage is it's +3 standard damage, +3 critical damage, so that's a total of 6 on top.
21, therefore, is the number that I need to get. And I get 3.
Aha.
Explain to me how you dispatch the hobgoblin.
Well, I think in the confined space, there's probably not enough room for a good beheading. But I think it's just the classic, you come through, your sword is extended well in front of you, and it just is a perfectly executed flesh, as I said. You're moving forward, and you just drive straight through its throat.
Bang, down and out. Okay.
That guy who was running away upstream, considering where my character had wandered off to, you might want to figure out just where he's gone.
He gets to there this round.
Right. And so I'm probably going to notice he's there, and he's probably going to notice I'm there.
Yeah, go for it.
He
what
may
was he
not.
again? Some goblin-y thing.
He is highly focused on getting away, and he does not seem to notice you.
Okay. Considering that I was highly focused on scraping bits of lichen, I suppose we better roll to see whether I notice him.
It's a fair shout.
I was thinking that separating the party like this would be totally stupid and was going to get me killed, but obviously not.
Your notice is a difficulty of 12.
Okay. My notice is 6. Let me roll the dice.
Oof. Not enough.
We don't see each other.
We don't. You basically don't see each other, and the figure disappears up out of the way, and this one disappears eventually out of the way as well. Okay, so you are left with a chamber with a chest, and now that you see it, a sack plus a dead hobgoblin.
And I will probably... Oh, my token has vanished. I tried to move it and it vanished.
Oh, right. Did you have delete on? Because that's what I do. If
I don't know what that
If you've still got delete on, then you sort of end up deleting things rather than selecting yourself. You delete yourself. Yeah, that's fine. You just put yourself back on.
Well, I thought I'd put myself back on, but... Oh, I've come in down there.
What happens is tokens always arrive slap in the centre of the map. Bosh. That's just where they always turn up.
Yeah. And the centre of the map was off screen to the bottom, so yeah. Okay. So first of all, I'll probably wander down there and see if there's anything interesting in the water. And eventually I'll wander back and join you all.
Excellent. So, let me just run through what you find in. If I can find it, because I can't even find what I put. The chest has some rather interesting things within it. I will find it. I'm determined to find it.
Are we going to check it for traps, or are we just going to go open it up and see what happens?
There is that, isn't there? There is that trap thing. And in fact,
It's called Professional Device, if anyone else has got it.
yeah,
I have.
That's
Nope.
the
I've
thing.
got it.
Excellent. Well, could you make a roll?
Who are you talking to?
I was.
Do you want to try it,
Sorry,
Tank?
yes. Help yourself. Who steps forward to check it?
I do.
I should make sure that nobody's going to come back to
Yeah,
Okay.
pester us. You know.
sounds good.
Okay. So I have disabled device,
Yeah.
and I think that's just appropriate in and of itself, isn't it? I just roll, and I get 20.
Excellent. You do not encounter any traps, and actually, the chest is not locked.
Nor trapped. But it was fun testing out the rules.
Absolutely. It's a sizable chest. Within the sack, incidentally, has silver and gold coin, a reasonably largish number. Within the chest, there are 2 gourds carefully packed in a small wooden box with straw padding around the gourds. There is, interestingly, there is a longsword in a black leather scabbard, the pommel of which this longsword is shaped with the head of a raven. You find a letter with a seal upon it, and almost sort of half folded is actually a set of armour right at the bottom of this deep chest. And it's not at first obvious that it's armour, because the material of the armour is extraordinarily light. In fact, I think actually I'm going to suggest that Nuana very quickly says, wait, that is made from Silas wood. It's wooden armour. But Silas, or the Silas tree, is noted for an incredibly flexible and strong wood. It's actually a wooden set of armour. And there's also a bottle which has some liquid in it, some viscous liquid.
So that would be a potion sort of thing, yeah? The sort of thing that anyone with craft potions might well recognise.
Potentially, yeah. Yeah.
Would you like me to roll some dice against my craft potions?
Why not? I'm going to show you the letter. And there is also a map case in here. It's a leather map case with a distinctive runes upon the map case, or it's a scroll case, should I say. The letter I will show you. The scroll case we'll come back to in a moment. The scroll case has got the name of the owner of the scroll case written upon it. The owner's name is, in quite delicate carving, is the name of a man called Leomund.
Ah, wasn't there something in rumours about that?
Quite possibly.
Disappeared wizard.
Yeah, that's what I thought I was remembering.
The letter I'm going
Down
to
yeah.
make public. So the letter is now in your assets. So you can peruse that at any time. There is a map in the map case, which I shall show you now. I say it's a map, it's just a series of childish scribbles, really. Etched on a bit of
Right at
vellum.
the bottom, is that meant to be Elvish or something like it?
It's some, yes, I mean, it's some sort of arcane script, which probably...
Is it Elvish?
As it happens...
On the grounds that I speak it?
As it happens, it is. And it translated, it says, a childish drawing easily dismissed.
Hooray. So, it looks to me like there's a Pokemon somewhere. North of a synagogue? I don't know.
That's pretty much it. You've obviously done runes.
No, I failed.
You failed runes. Excellent. Okay.
And you said there was a... Oh, no, that's the letter. You've shown us the letter.
Yep.
Yeah. That's that.
What I will do is I will add the childish
also the
drawing
mighty sword.
to your assets as well. So you've got the drawing as well. And there is a sword, which looks well balanced to your eye, Anarian.
I will take it out and have a look at it. Also, do I recognise the wolf head insignia thing?
The insignia of the raven. Well, let me just take you back for a moment to this.
Yeah.
Actually, that's an eagle, isn't it? That's actually an eagle. There is a raven, and I will get that for you. It is the insignia of one of the nations. It isn't necessarily meaning that this is what this is signifying, but there is that as well. The actual
Can I have a gather information to know about?
Possibly.
Was that... So what were you going to go with? Gather information?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we go back to Bastion, and we'll just ask around in Bastion and do gather information rolls on that.
Yeah. And so it is. You return to Bastion with some money. You all gain +1 wealth. You get a masterwork sword of some description. A match for yours, you would say. Finely balanced. A letter, which may be of interest to you. And, well, a childish map. Plus some armour, some wooden armour. Very light.
The wooden armour sounds very appropriate for Nuana.
Well, it would if I was into actually getting into fights, but...
Yeah.
But you might want to defend yourself.
Accidentally. Yeah, that does seem reasonable.
Yeah, I
So
think so.
that's masterwork, level armour, enchanted, all the rest of it.
It's certainly highly and well crafted, and I would suggest to you that it is a masterwork of wood carved armour.
Right. You know what's going to happen to that next, don't you?
I do. And there, I think, returning to Bastion, we shall draw a close for tonight. We shall doubtless come back together on Discord and talk later. But in terms of this session, thank you all for joining and playing. We've certainly started to find our way a little bit around True20 for the first time, and indeed the Role virtual tabletop. So thank you very much, and
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.